impressionante questa chiettanecca, eh? Mamma mia.
Severe weather has caused widespread disruption across parts of southern Italy, where intense rainfall triggered flooding and landslides in several communities in Calabria. The most serious problems were reported in the province of Cosenza, where prolonged rain fell on ground already saturated from earlier weather, increasing pressure on rivers, roads, and unstable slopes.
Qua è un guaio, caro ragazzi.
Signore è rimasta pure, non può neanche a casa. Guarda, guarda siamo arrivati. Dove siamo?
According to local reports, some areas received more than 200 millimeters of rain within roughly 24 to 36 hours. Under those conditions, waterways, including the Trionto and Fiumarella, rose rapidly, while runoff spread across urban streets and low-lying districts. At the same time, the persistence of the rain weakened hillsides and raised the risk of landslides in residential areas close to elevated terrain.
Mamma mia, oddio.
Non sto cadendo sta vicino, non mi fa. Pure Maria là.
One of the towns most affected was Crocia, including Mirto Crocia and the historic area near Via San Francesco di Paola. There, a landslide detached from a hillside above homes, sending earth, debris, and dust down toward the residential zone below. The scene caused understandable alarm among residents, especially after hours of uninterrupted rainfall had already raised concerns about the stability of the slope. Flooding was also reported in several streets and neighborhoods, where water quickly accumulated and in some cases entered the lower floors of buildings. Vehicles were left stranded on submerged roads, and traffic became difficult in areas where mud, debris, and standing water blocked normal movement. For many residents, the storm brought not only physical damage, but also a sudden sense of uncertainty as conditions deteriorated in a short period of time.
Però che succede? C'è che rientra adesso. Una volta è entrato da dietro.
The effects were not limited to Crocia alone. Other centers along the Ionian coast, including Corigliano, Rossano, Calopezzati, Pietrapaola, and Mandatoriccio, also experienced flooding and storm-related disruption. Elsewhere in Calabria, additional incidents were reported in areas such as Catanzaro and Mesoraca, where separate landslide concerns forced further precautionary action.
Qui vediamo un'auto diversa sulla 106.
Authorities say around 80 people were evacuated from homes considered at risk in the Cosenza area, particularly in zones close to rivers and unstable slopes. In Mesoraca, another 15 families were evacuated, after a separate landslide threatened nearby homes. Emergency services were heavily engaged throughout the event, with firefighters responding to more than 100 calls linked to flooded properties, trapped vehicles, and dangerous road conditions. Firefighters reportedly worked extended shifts, supported by additional teams, as civil protection and local authorities activated emergency response measures. Evacuations remained in place where the danger had not yet passed, and officials continued to monitor river levels, slope stability, and weather developments closely. Although no fatalities were reported from this event, the disruption has been significant for the communities involved. What remains especially concerning is that the emergency may not end with the first wave of damage. After such prolonged rainfall, the ground remains fragile, and even further moderate rain could be enough to reactivate landslides or worsen flooding in vulnerable zones. For that reason, weather alerts and local monitoring remain particularly important in the hours following the heaviest impacts. In Calabria, events like this are not only a question of extreme weather, but also of territory. Mountainous landscapes, exposed hillsides, narrow roads, and communities built close to rivers all increase the consequences when heavy rain persists for many hours. What happened in the province of Cosenza is another reminder of how quickly hydrogeological risk can become a direct threat to daily life.
Assolutamente, guardate che profondità d'acqua. Ci sono altri gradini, non possiamo andare avanti.
For residents in the affected areas, attention is now shifting from the moment of impact to the next phase, securing homes, clearing roads, checking damage, and waiting to see whether the weather will stabilize. And while the most dramatic moments may have passed, many families across southern Italy remain on alert, aware that with saturated ground and unstable slopes, the situation can still change very quickly.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay informed about the latest developments.